So I'm a little bummed, but also thankful. Like, is there a word for that? Because that's how I'm feeling. We're gonna go into our basement, which is an unfinished basement, and I'm going to explain to you the problems. Oh, you can't see me. The problems with what we've been running into with finishing it. And I wanna talk about the app Thumbtack. So let's get started. I'm almost afraid to show you how messy it is down here. We have a few things that are too big to store upstairs. We were utilizing this space essentially. We bought a pool table, we have a projector with a screen, we have a big couch. Like, we were using our space down here. It's 1,500 square feet. We have 1,500 square feet upstairs and 1,500 square feet downstairs. There's also a walkout basement. So we've been using the space, so there is some stuff that we couldn't or didn't take upstairs to store while we're building this. So, a little disclaimer, it's a little messy. Don't judge me. So, let me give you a look first. A little kid area. We're gonna put a little door. There's like a little window. There's an issue with that one, but there's a window there. And then this is another room. So you can tell that it's all framed. I'll explain the issue with that. Here's our utility closet. This is gonna be a storage closet. There is a bathroom gonna be put in here, and this is actually gonna be more of a master bedroom. The master bedroom upstairs is small, and so we want a large master bedroom. So there is that, and then this turns into a large walk-in closet. Ignore this has to go. Okay, so you can see there's some insulation on the walls, and it kind of looks awful. This insulation was on before the framing was done, and it was there when we moved in, and the what am I trying to think of? The inspector assumed that whoever lived here before us had a dog, and it basically tore up the insulation. So we are gonna have to patch up and fill in and almost redo the insulation in the majority of the spots. So you can see it's all framed, which, if you don't know what that means, it means like the wood slats are there. That's what it means. Okay, so there was a little glimpse into our basement. So now I'm going to explain kind of what's going on. Okay, so we lived in this house for about 3 years now. Oh, actually over 3 years now. And we slowly have just been utilizing this space, slowly moving things down here, slowly living down here partially. And so that's kind of what we've been doing. So 2 months ago, I told Brandon that I wanted to start getting this basement done, and that I thought the best way to do that would be to just piece it out room by room and do one room, get one room done, get another one done. I thought that would be the less expensive option for us. I had looked up online how much it was going to cost to finish a basement, and we assumed for what we want that it would be about $25,000. So that would be with a contractor. So we kind of thought, what if we pieced out the projects, the electrical, the plumbing, everything, pieced it out individually, that maybe it would be cheaper for us in the long run. So the one bedroom that I showed you over here, let's go over there and I'll explain. Let me get this is a dimmer switch, which is really cool. So it can like dim the lights, which is really nice. Okay, so this bedroom, my brother-in-law came and framed in the bedroom for us, except for a closet. At the time, we thought we were going to use it as like a den and that we wouldn't want a closet in here, but we changed our mind and decided to put a closet in here. We have 4 kids, and sometimes we move rooms around, and so we just figured we might as well have a closet, and if anything, we could use it for storage space. My house does not have a lot of storage space. So this is a closet. Can you tell? Okay, so the room was basically framed, but we wanted that closet, and then we needed kind of like that framed in and a door frame. Ugh, the door frame put in as well. So I went onto Thumbtack. I had no idea what Thumbtack was. My husband told me about it. He said it sounded like a really cool place to find professionals for projects that you need to have done. So I went on to Thumbtack. It's an app that has a bunch of professionals that do everything from like wedding planning, massages, yard work, contract work. Like, I was shocked at how many professional people were on there for different projects. I was like looking around my house thinking, okay, who could we hire to help us out with another thing? Taking care of a house and a yard is a lot of work. So back to this room. So we needed that closet done. I thought we'd start with this room. It's smaller, it'd be easier. We knew what we wanted to do with it. So I just needed that closet and that frame, or that door frame, done. So I went on a Thumbtack, which I did not know at the time. Apparently it charges their professionals a certain amount of money to reply to your messages, just to reply. And so if you don't hire them for that job, they're still out that money that they had to reply to you. So let me start over. So for Thumbtack, you go into the app, you click on projects. Maybe I can show you guys in a video, but if you click on projects, you create what project you need, kind of the details of it, where you're located, and then then you can send that project to these professionals, and then they contact you back if they're interested or if they can do the work. And then that's how you basically are in contact with these professionals. And so I went on there with this simple project, this simple framing project, thinking somebody's gonna want to do it. It's easy. Well, that's the problem, is that it's too easy and nobody wants that cheap work, especially if they have to reply to me. So I had no responses. I contacted 10 like framing people on Thumbtack and had 0 people answer me. Well, they answer you, but it was like not available or something like that. So I went to Facebook Marketplace and just found a framer on there, somebody who does framing for a living and does side work, and he came out like a couple days later, charged us $250 to do the framing, like for materials and labor, and boom, it was done. And he did a great job. So we asked him to give us a quote for the rest of the basement, which is roughly 1,300 square feet. And so we were gonna do room by room, but when he did such a good job and it was so inexpensive, we decided to see what it would cost to do the rest of it. So he gave us a quote, which, am I allowed to, like, should I share like the amount of money it cost us to do all this stuff? I think maybe it would help others to know, because I had no idea, and we still kind of have no idea how much the rest of this is going to cost. So so the guy who did our framing for the rest of it, he gave us a quote for $1,600. That includes material and labor. We were thinking it was going to be double that just to frame this basement. Again, we didn't know, but we thought that sounded like a good deal, so we jumped on it and we had him out here that following weekend. He got it done in 2 days and it was great. Exactly what we were looking for and kind of what we wanted. Well, it was what we wanted. And anyway, so he did that. He did our framing all over. Then he tells us he knows a guy that just got out of electrician school, is that the proper term, and was looking for side work. So he gave us his number and said he would come out and look at the electrical and give us a quote. So the electrician came out and he gave us a quote for $2,500 to do what we wanted for electrical in the basement. And he told us he would come out that following weekend, except for, wait, let me rewind. He did tell us we needed to get the HVAC work done, which is like the duct work, and we had to do that first. He said a lot of times when you do the HVAC after the electrical, the HVAC people just come in and ruin like the electrical work that you did. I don't know how true that is. That's what he said. So it was kind of like, okay, we can't do the electrical. We need to put that on pause and get somebody out here to do the HVAC work. So again, I went to Thumbtack and I found 2 companies that came out to give me quotes. One came out and they gave me a quote and it was $2,300. And so I was kind of floored. That kind of shocked me. And then I found another guy that came out and he did it for $700. Or it was like $777. Anyway, we hired that guy and kind of crossed our fingers that it would be good. We really didn't know how much this stuff costed. Again, so he came out and he did the HVAC work. He was here like 3 hours. He had another guy with him and it was quick and easy and a lot less expensive than the first guy that gave us the quote. So for the most part, we thought it looked good. We really didn't know. So then we were like ready for the electrician. So we moved on and had decided to go with that electrician that we had in the first place, and he ended up flaking on us. He ended up not showing up and then giving us some bogus excuse as to why he didn't show up. Anyway, we went back to Thumbtack, the Thumbtack app, and did a project, told them what we wanted, what we needed, and I had a few electricians contact me back interested in giving us quotes. So we had some quotes, and actually, let me rewind. We put the project on Thumbtack for the electrical work, and we didn't have anybody that was able to do it right away because we had this free weekend that this guy was supposed to do it. So we went onto Facebook Marketplace to see if anybody could do the work that weekend, that we were ready and we had everything ready to go. And we had like this wide range of people, a wide range of quotes that these electricians gave us, like anywhere from $6,000 to $4,500. I mean, they were just like weird, more expensive than we had imagined. So we decided to not go with those guys. So we went ahead and we found Thumbtack. We had a guy that was able to come out the very next day and give us a quote, and he came out here, gave us a quote for $2,500, and he was actually going to do a lot better than the first guy that was going to come out and do it. He added like dimmer switches and certain little things for like our projector. Anyway, he did a great job. He has his team. He's a contractor, so they really know what they're doing. So his team came out the very next day, took 2 days, and completely did the electrical in the basement, which is amazing, by the way. He even included like the smoke detectors. It was great. So we've got like all these can lights, which he told me would be better because this is a basement, and so it's darker down here, so you want more can lights because it gives like off a better lighting. We have this like kids play area, so there's going to be a light there. There's even a little switch inside for the little kids play area, so then you can see all of the can lights in here. Like, they did a really, really good job. And then they added like the fan for the bathroom and like all the, I mean, it was great. Okay, so the electrical work was done and we decided to move on to plumbing. And we went onto Thumbtack and found a few people to come out and give us quotes. And we found these guys that came out, and Brandon really liked them. He said they seemed like really nice. And they were actually going to do the entire bathroom for us. They were actually going to pick up the shower and the toilet. We already had the vanity that we wanted, and they were going to install everything, put everything in. They were going to tile it, sheetrock, all of it. They were basically going to finish our entire bathroom for us. I kind of felt like maybe they were a little bit dishonest because when we talked about doing the tiling, Brandon kind of threw out a number and said, so what is that, like 100 square feet in there? And instead of looking, they just said, oh yeah, so that'll be about $500 to do it. This bathroom is like 50 square feet, so it's really small, so it didn't even need that much. I mean, it kind of seemed a little dishonest, but we hired them to do the plumbing. They came in, they did the shower, they did the plumbing. It took a few hours. They did a really good job. And then we told them that we wanted to have the city come and check the plumbing work and the electrical work. Now let me tell you about that. So when you're building a basement, check with the city to find out what requirements are needed. So for us, you have to have a permit for the electrical and the plumbing, and then it has to be inspected and approved before you can finish the work. Basically, so that if any flooding or a fire were to happen because of the plumbing and the electrical, it's noted and it's covered, and they can figure out, what to do with it. So before we started the project, my husband had called a while ago and had asked the city if we had, what to do for a permit. They said we already had a permit on file from before we moved in. So we went ahead and just decided to do the work because there was already a permit there. The guy that my husband talked with said that we could do everything that we needed to, like as far as plumbing and electrical, before, so anything that could be done before sheetrock, do it, and then they would come out and check it. So we did that. We did the plumbing, we did the HVAC, we've done the electrical, and we called the city, and it turns out we do not have a permit. The permit expired. So now we have all this work that's been done, and we're at a standstill because now we have to resubmit paperwork for a permit. And so it's like kind of like frustrating. I feel like every time we take 2 steps forward, it's like 2 steps back. And so we drew up the blueprints. You have to have blueprints, you have to have the numbers and the names of the people who are doing the work, as well as the license numbers. Now here's the thing. We asked every person that did work here if they had a license, and they told us yes. Yeah, that was not accurate. Okay, so I think my kids are fighting. Ugh, my daughter. Goodness. Okay, so let me finish. So I took the paperwork to the city, took the numbers that were given to me by these workers, and gave them all the information they asked for, the city asked for. They came back and told us that they needed more information. Basically, the electrician was totally fine. He had a license, his permits, everything was good to go. The plumber and the HVAC guy did not have licenses. They told us they did. Then the plumber gave us a story that he thought his registration number was a license number. We don't believe that lie. And then our HVAC guy tried to give us his old boss's license number. So then we contacted that old boss and said, he can't use that. That's my number. Like, he stole a bunch of stuff from me. He never works for me anymore. It's crazy. So now we're kind of stuck in this rut where we need the license number, or we just have to put that information in our name, like put ourselves liable for a fire, flooding, whatever, and this work in our name. Or we're going to try to find somebody who can come out here and fix some of the work. The HVAC work, I'll show you, like right there, that air duct needs to be like put up. Same in here, like there's little things that need to be fixed. So we're trying to find somebody that can come out here and fix those minor things and essentially put his name on the okay that this stuff looks good, and we can have that license number to give to the city, and then the city can come out and inspect this. So we're ready to roll, and it's so frustrating. Like, that's why I say I'm so bummed. Like, I just want this work to get going. I thought that maybe by now it would almost be done, but because of all these little setbacks, we're kind of in a standstill. We've kind of been in a standstill for 3 weeks. So for the past 2 months, we had somebody at our house every single week doing work, and now the past 3 weeks we've just been sitting here because we need to get this stuff approved. We need that license number. But at the same time, I'm really thankful that we're getting this work done, that we have the income to do it step by step. It's just slightly frustrating, but I'm trying to stay positive and trying to stay upbeat about it. I'm glad it's getting done. I'm really thankful that it's getting done. It's just more of a process than I thought it was frustrating. So hopefully we can get this done sooner than later. Brandon thinks we can have it done by Christmas. I'm just hoping that it's done by January. So we'll see. So let's talk about Thumbtack really quick again. So I think it's a great app. I really do. Especially if you have projects that need to get done, but you don't know what... You're silly. But you don't know where to go to find these people. Like for us, for instance, we didn't really know where to go to find a framer and things like that. And so it was a really... Thanks, buddy. It was a really helpful app. A little bit confusing, so play around with it to try to figure it out. There was a couple of things like I wanted to delete a project that had already been done. I can't figure, yeah, baby shark. I couldn't figure out how to delete it. So just little things. Play around with it, figure it out for yourselves. Check the reviews. That's a big deal. Check the reviews of the people before you hire them. We had a guy that was going to come out and give us a quote for plumbing, and I ended up telling him not to come out because his reviews were so bad. So another thing is in the description of this professional, it will tell you if they're license verified. It'll say license verified. Basically, that Thumbtack verifies that they have a license. Check that. I didn't check that. I didn't even think about that. Like, I would notice it on a couple of them, but it never occurred to me until now we're doing this, going through this whole license debacle. So definitely check the descriptions, check the reviews, really look into who you're hiring. But it is a great app. I do recommend it. So check it out, and wish us luck in getting all this done. I just want it done already. So that's it. I'll update you guys with what we do next and kind of what the status is with our basement. So see you next time.